going on?
How's it going, everybody?
We're back.
Bass Now Radio. We hope you enjoyed the new intro. We haven't had a new intro for 49 episodes. We've had the same one.
Yeah.
So we figured before we hit 50, we'd make a new intro.
It's time.
So
I haven't even seen the new intro yet. So
new intro song. Yeah, you haven't seen it yet.
No, I'm excited.
I'm
as excited as you guys.
As we're recording this, we're 50% done with it. So
okay.
We finished the other 50% and add it to this.
Cool. We like it.
Hope you all liked it. Yeah, we're back. We haven't been on for a week.
Yeah.
We had some crap going on. We got boat problems.
Oh, we got boat problems.
And
yours are becoming solved. Mine were solved.
Yeah, mine are becoming solved. I had 3 things wrong. I had a bad oil grommet, so my oil pressure was low. My high pressure fuel pump cracked in half, which is what happened at High Rock.
Okay.
Apparently, that's what happened at High Rock.
Okay.
And I have some bad battery cables, so we should be back on the water within a couple days.
Nice.
Start practicing for Norman.
Nice. I'm taking a weekend off.
You're taking a week. Yeah, you're gonna soak up some rays.
I am. I'm going down to Florida to hang out, some family, and it's coming at a good time because I don't have a boat. Back in the shop. Fuel problems, we're thinking. It's just not fun. But hopefully we're all ready to go by that big old March 5th date. Hopefully before then, so I can get out and take a peek around that pond.
A peek around the pond.
Yeah. I'm probably closing in on 50 days on that little pond there.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I give you that. That's impressive.
I've spent more days on that lake than any other lake I've ever been on. So that's something.
Well, I got a little something that I want to add in.
Got a little something.
I feel like I'm probably going to be higher than you, but I think you're going to be up there too.
Okay.
I was driving home. I went to a snowboard competition this weekend.
Okay.
I was driving home from West Virginia, 5.5 hour drive. And I'm like, I wonder how many hours I've spent traveling to and from competitions, not just snowboarding, but fishing.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of this one particular thing like 2 years ago where we went to, what tournament was it? We were in Alabama.
Gunnersville?
No. It
Toledo?
was Seminole.
Oh, yeah.
The Seminole tournament, and we drove 8 hours to Seminole. And then, it was way longer that time. Way longer that time, but it should have been 8 hours.
Yeah.
And then we drove 8 hours back, and then 4 hours later, I got up and drove 5 hours to Virginia for a snowboard competition.
Yes.
And then back.
Yeah, dude, I bet if you/I/anybody who does this like we do sat down and added up the hours, I mean, it's got to be like weeks.
Yeah, of time spent traveling.
Like think about how much time, if any of you guys play video games, think about how much time you've spent, like, because a lot of video games will show you how much time you spent on them. Think about how fast those hours add up. Dude, driving hours, I can only imagine. I mean,
speaking of video games, it's funny you mentioned that.
Go ahead.
For any of you interested to play video games, I will be getting a stream. So if you want to check that out, it's pineapples.
Of course.
Yeah, you don't know. I've always had pineapples in my name for video games forever.
Are you going to throw them up on the Sunrise Bass and YouTube?
No, it's going to be through Twitch.
Just stream.
Just through Twitch.
So you're not going to record them?
Not going to record them.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to come check it out, I'm going to be kind of hanging around. I'm going to advertise it on Sunrise Bass and my Instagram. And if you want to come talk fishing while we're playing, I was kind of like the whole point of it. I was kind of wanting to do something live. So
yeah. Speaking of,
yeah, we just keep rolling into new things happening. There's a lot of excitement happening, and you guys can't see it, but we got a whole new studio.
We do
in front of us, not behind us. Is all the same stuff. But yeah, you want to? Should we?
No, it's all you. You're Mr. Tech. You know what's
so due to the fact that I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch. We were talking about potentially doing this live.
Yes.
On YouTube on the Sunrise Bassin page. We're still ironing out some kinks.
Yeah, we got to figure out how we can get like a message deal going.
Yeah, we're working on it.
Like some kind of live message board.
So with that, it's kind of exciting that we'll potentially have a live thing, have people call in. Yeah, there's a lot of cool, fun stuff going on. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We get the Lewis Minetti YouTube series going.
Yeah. Lewis, I think we announced that last week.
I think we did.
Lewis is joining me and recording some YouTube videos.
Yes.
And we're excited.
We got stuff going on.
Big
man.
stuff
We
going
got
on.
stuff going on. We got some
New series. Actually, we can talk about one
in
new
the
series
work.
too.
Let's wait till we get it out.
Okay, all right, fine.
We got some
I'm
exciting.
very excited about it, though. I'm very excited.
Me
about
too. Me too. I'm really excited about it. That could be a cool, like, laid back. It's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be good.
Also, now that we've finished all commercial stuff, advertising just ourselves,
Talking about us.
let's start talking about fishing.
Okay.
One big event this week.
Yeah.
Or I should say last week at this point.
Yeah.
Toyota Series. I'm sure you all have seen the pictures.
Yeah, I would hope so. If not, get to. Well, I guess it's It's Big Five
The
is
MLF Big Five now. I know
is the Instagram now. Yeah, the Instagram changed. The app changed. It all changed. But you need to go and look at some of these pictures. Derek Mundy,
Big ones weighed in, including a 13-pounder.
a 1310, almost 14.
Yeah, almost 14.
Dude.
Just absolutely impressive.
Dude. Yeah.
Absolutely impressive.
Crazy.
So it was Toyota Series. It was on Sam Rayburn. So, Texas, they're growing them big.
Yeah.
Derek Mundy won for a 3-day total of 70 pounds, 11 ounces.
I think he won by what, like 13 pounds?
Let me do the math here.
I know he caught a final day 10 that he didn't need to
just
catch.
about 13 pounds.
He caught a 10-pounder on the last day on his last cast.
Just impressive.
Which is incredible, but if you look at the weights, he didn't even need to catch it.
No, he didn't. Yeah. Well, he did fantastic stuff, but you got to give the guy in second, who I absolutely love his name, Jason Bonds. I saw it and I'm like, James Bonds. He caught 34-1 on day 2, 5 fish.
2 giant bags on day 2. If you don't know, Derek Mundy, who won, had what, 39, 37? 39 on day 2 with that 1310.
1310.
Unbelievable. Fish. You take away the 1310, he had 4 for 24 pounds. 26 pounds. That's incredible. It's incredible.
Great start to the year, though.
Yeah.
Like, dang, we're going to be going to Florida soon for Elite Series. And
yep.
We'll see what they put out there.
Yeah.
We know it can get good there. So.
Oh, yeah. I think Rick Clunn had 35-ish that one year.
Yeah. 2 years
on the
ago.
final day, yeah. Speaking of, I got something to add, and our boy T Squared and I were talking about this the other day. And take away any bias you might have here.
Okay.
Because I know it's strong.
Oh, God.
Mine isn't.
Oh, God.
Mine, I have bias here too, not as strong. I know a couple years back, Toledo was the number 1 ranked lake in the country.
There's not going to be as much bias here as you think, I don't think.
Okay. I know it was at one point, Toledo was number 1 in the country.
Yeah.
There have been some Toyota Series, college events, FLW Pro circuits on Toledo lately. There have also been some on Sam Rayburn lately. Sam Rayburn seems to be significantly more impressive the last 2 years than Toledo.
I would agree with that, yeah.
So that's all I wanted to say.
I mean, I always, I had a bad experience at Toledo, but at the same time, I think there was just time of year. I think if we were there.
Yeah, it was a tough tournament.
Like for me, like May top water on Toledo, I think would be insane.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd probably be the same at Sam Rayburn at that point in the year too, because it's so close together. So if you're asking which one's better,
I think Sam Rayburn has surpassed Toledo lately.
I think, everything goes through like the ups and downs, the cycles of the lakes. I think Sam Rayburn's on the up. I think Toledo's on the down.
I agree.
Although I don't think Toledo's ever going to get like really bad.
Right.
I think it's going to stay just consistent, and at some point it's going to come back up again. So
yeah. And I think I forget when I was practicing and studying for going to Toledo in the college event, I remember reading some stuff about how the grass isn't the same at Toledo.
Yeah.
Either the homeowners or something at Toledo happened where there's not near as much grass and there's more at Rayburn. Yeah. I think that has and any fishery where you have grass taken away, it has a very much negative effect for the most part.
What's going to be interesting at Toledo is as the years go by, for any of you that haven't been to Toledo, it's essentially a submerged forest.
Yeah.
And eventually those trees are going to rot out.
Yeah.
And it's going to become a normal lake with open water. I'd be curious to see what happens to the lake at that point. You know?
Yeah. That's when I think you really do need grass to come back.
50 years from now, it's going to be completely different. For sure. 100%.
Oh, God, yeah. 5 years, I'm sure.
So,
yeah, I think the grass being gone has hurt it. Like, if you saw this week at Sam Rayburn, obviously Monday one, throwing a big crankbait offshore, there are a lot of guys up fishing grass flats with traps and stuff like that. When I was at Toledo last year, there was none of that to be had, of my knowledge. I
remember when I was there, there were some spots of grass, but it wasn't. We on the final day of practice and the first day of tournament, strictly went out looking for grass, and we were running everywhere.
Yeah.
And we found one patch of it, and it took us forever to find it. So
when I was there this past year, I looked and looked and looked, and everywhere where it's been historical, I went on. I remember guide reviews, like I was saying, who said there was some grass here. Dude, I couldn't find a freaking blade of it. I could not find, and I looked hard for I think I was up there for 2 to 4 days, and I spent at least 2 days looking for grass. And I found, no, that's a lie. I found one pocket where coontail was growing, and it was 3 foot. And I was like, this is just not.
We found the first day of the tournament, we found grass, and it was you had to troll 30 minutes to shore.
Up above, right?
Above the bridge on the right side. Yeah. And you had to go through a log field to get to it.
Yeah.
So.
I looked in there, dude. I looked down, and I forget what the name of that creek was. When you're going down towards the dam on the right, I heard there was some down there. I didn't see any, and I remember in the college tournament, nobody was catching them out of grass. It was all deep.
Yeah, which when we were there, it was one in the grass, if I remember right. So
right, and that was this past year,
3 years ago now,
it was not to be had. And I think Rayburn's better as of right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Subject to change.
Is better.
Subject to change, but awesome tournament. Crazy results. Giants.
I like seeing a start like this. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and
it's good to see.
You know what's cool about even Tennessee and Texas and a bunch of other places. You see these every once in a while. You see these giants 13, 14 teeners.
Yeah,
I feel like in Florida you see a lot of 7, 8, 9.
7, 8, 9.
You don't see teeners.
No,
very rarely. I don't remember the last time one was caught.
Well, it's a different variety of bass. You got the Florida strain down there,
right?
Of the Texas strain. So
right. And some of those Texas strain are Floridas, but something about those lakes. I don't know if it's because they're bigger. Maybe because they're deeper.
I think it's deeper. I think that the weather cycles a little bit more,
and they can't grow as fast. Something I don't know.
I think there's more food. I think too. Really.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Florida's weird in that I think there might be too big of a population of smaller bass.
Yeah.
In most of those lakes, whereas in Texas,
some could argue it's the same problem with Norman.
Yeah, but Norman's a wonderful lake. I love that lake. It's a great lake.
I think Norman's on the up.
I think Norman is very much on the up.
It's the best I've seen it since I've been down here, and I've been down here 4 years. So
me too. I feel like it's gotten progressively better. That could have it definitely coincides with the fact that I've learned the place a lot better. But if you look at weights, the Winter Trail here has consistently been putting out 15 to 18 pound bags, which I don't remember seeing that.
Yeah,
Pre-spawn
every once in a while they'd hit it. When I remember, every once in a while someone would hit it, but it was never as consistent as it is now.
Right, and I think the spotted bass have completely taken over for the most part, and you're seeing 15 to 18 pound bags of spotted bass, which I don't think you were seeing that 3 years ago.
Yeah,
you were seeing mixed. Now you see those big bags. Back then, it was if you were going to have more than 15 pounds, you had to have largemouth in there.
Yeah.
Now you can catch. I caught almost 17 pounds of spots a couple weeks ago. Grown spots.
What do you think about, for those of you who don't know, the area that we're in, there's two different river chains. Other side of us, High Rock Lake. Mm-hmm. They've had the Classic there a couple of times. Mm-hmm. I think that's on the up too. We've seen some big fish out of there. And there's consistently reports now of some smallmouth being caught.
Really?
Yeah. And it blows my mind.
Where did you hear this?
Dirty
I'm interested.
Lake. It was put up by the North Carolina Bass Conservation Team.
Really?
Yeah. Reports of smallmouth, and it's not like Norman where it was like 1 or 2 a year. Like,
You sure it's not just the chain, or is it High Rock in specific?
it's high rock.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Because I know they're in Tillery.
Yeah.
A good population is like not, you're going to go out and have mixed bags, but if you went to target smallmouth on Lake Tillery,
You could do it.
you could.
Yeah.
You can catch a few.
Apparently they're in high rock now.
Wow. That's
So
pretty
everyone's
awesome.
like, high rock's like on the up too. So as we're talking about that up and down,
Yeah, I think High Rock is an interesting lake, and it's been pretty. I feel like almost just a stable. It's been a stable lake. It's definitely changed. Obviously, I think a lot of people have. I've heard a lot of complaints due to the fact that Duke Power runs it a lot differently than whoever used to run it.
Yeah.
They used to let the water get a lot higher and flood those bushes in the spring. Better spawn, the whole nine. But I mean, every spring you see 27, 30-pound bags come out of that place.
Yeah.
They're there. They're there. High Rock needs a classic.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I'm all for high rock.
High Rock needs another classic.
100%. And I'm not just saying that because then I'd only have to drive 45 minutes to classic. But
Right.
yeah, 100% agree. I think it's on the up. Needs a classic.
Definitely. Especially if you put it in like March, like when they were going to have this one, dude, you could see, and I feel like it's a perfect lake for that 50, 55.
Yeah, it's a
field.
perfect size for that.
It's a perfect size.
It
A
is-
place
it
like
is-
Grand
It
Lake,
is a big lake too.
a Grand Lake or Hartwell, where they've had classics, almost too big for a 50 boat. Not too big. It can't be too big. But High Rock is a perfect size.
I would agree with that.
There's so much water. You have one concern though. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Spring high rains can take out Abbott's Creek.
Yeah.
That can be a
Yeah,
problem.
you can completely remove one creek depending on what the water levels are at.
A top 2 creek on the lake.
Yeah.
Anybody will tell you.
Can't get under the railroad bridges.
Yeah.
You have to submerge the boat.
I hope they go back. Be very cool. Very cool.
We can only wish.
So there hasn't been too much other to talk about, but you've got a topic for us.
Yeah, so it's kind of inspired by a Facebook post I saw today. What baits do you think are worth buying the most expensive version of?
The top of the line.
Top of the line, like if you're going out, for this example, I saw a wake bait that's made by a couple guy here in North Carolina called the Moonshiner.
Shout them out.
Tater Hog.
Yeah.
Tater Hog lures, if you ever want to check them out. They're really cool.
Yeah.
Hand carved wake baits.
Oh, yeah.
And they got crankbaits now and
Yeah.
a couple other things. Really cool stuff. All very high price points. For their wake bait, for example, I used to throw a plastic jointed wake bait that was about for all of $18. And I ended up going out and buying a Moonshiner, which is the hand carved wooden version of what I was throwing. And it was $155 for it. So, which baits do you think are worth buying? The more expensive version. Which baits can you get away with buying?
The top of the line.
Yeah. Top
And
of the line.
which ones do you think I can get away buying the cheapos?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I thought of another one just now as we were talking, but I want to see if you think of it.
Okay. Number 1 is a dead giveaway for me. I think almost every angler will agree with me on this.
The jackhammer.
No. Hold on. I think
That's what I thought you were going with.
I think
that.
well that's another one. I mean, you've seen every pro start to throw that thing these days.
Yeah.
Regardless of being sponsored or not. But there's another one. And it's not talked about as much because people seem to think it's more seasonal. The jerkbait. The
Okay,
Vision
that's-
110.
That's exactly what I would just came up with.
Everybody throws a Vision 110.
A Vision, and I 100% agree with it because
Everybody does.
I mean, I used to throw Rapple a lot when I was younger. And then when I came down here, I was throwing Yojiri. And I gotta say, the one that still has the best action,
Best action, catches the most fish.
catches the most fish, Vision 110.
You just get more bites on it.
And it's just this good quality.
Yeah.
So unless you
just
hit them with a
get-
rock,
Right.
like I've done a couple times.
It just gets more bites.
But yeah, that's the one I just came up with off the top of my head. I was like, Vision
look at
110.
any pro's deck. Regardless of who they're sponsored by, they're gonna have a Vision 110 tied on. Look at Walters, Rapple guy.
Yeah.
had a Vision 110 on his deck in that Toledo tournament.
Yeah.
Did a lot of his damage on a Vision 110. I mean, it's
a good bait.
There's other high priced Japanese companies that make a good jerkbait. I think Duo makes a good one. I think Ima
Duo
makes a good one.
Yeah.
I've never thrown either of them. I've thrown the Duo one a little bit. Shout out Enrico.
I was gonna say I have to.
But I've thrown those good jerkbaits. I think the most widely known fish catching machine is the 110. And I do have something to add to that. I think that jerkbaits in general are underthrown, especially by me. I think the biggest reason that is a lot of people don't catch a lot of fish on them all the time. Obviously, there's times where you can go out and whack them. I cannot stress enough. I learned this from Tactical Bassin. Put the best hooks on the market on your jerkbait. I don't care what jerkbait it is. Put the best hooks on them. Those fish will knock a bait and spit it right back out if you don't. Get you some Gamakatsu, G-Finesse trebles, and fit them to your jerkbaits. You will catch more fish. That you didn't even know bit.
That was going to be the second thing that I brought up. I should say third, but I'll make it the second now.
Go ahead.
Hooks. I think going out and buying good. I mean,
treble hooks especially.
If you're gonna try and catch fish, you're not gonna want dull. You don't buy a dull knife.
Right.
It's pointless.
Right.
You want the best hook that's gonna keep the fish on the longest. Spend a little bit more money. Get the hooks.
Yeah.
The third one now, I guess, would be jackhammer. Anyone that's thrown a jackhammer versus the really cheap original chatterbait knows that there is a very noticeable difference in the vibration.
Oh yeah.
You can reel them a lot slower. You can reel them a lot faster without problems. I definitely think if you're going to spend the money, that's something you spend it on.
Yeah.
And now I want to talk about something that I think you shouldn't spend as much money on.
Ooh. I've got another one. Can I go real quick?
Oh, yeah, go for you. Yeah, go for it.
I have little to no experience with this, but from everything I've heard, I think there's definitely something to it. It's an area of fishing that is not my expertise, and I have not spent the money to do it. But I've heard from many different people, podcasts, the whole nine, hand-carved wooden shallow running crankbaits.
Yeah.
I think there's something to it. I do. I don't have the money to spend because I don't feel like I'm a good enough shallow running crankbait fisherman to start with. So why should I go out and buy the top of the line shit? But I think like a square bill, like those Zoom WEC ones, the Zoom Mutts, PH Custom Lures, I know makes a good one. They're $20 to $30 crankbaits. The Zoom ones are probably upwards of 60 these days because Ed Chambers died. But I think they're legit. I think there's something to that. I think there's a time and a place where plastic is just as good or not better, for sure. Durability is better. But I think with a wooden bait, they talk about how 1 in 10 of them stand out. But if you can get one of those 1 in 10s,
it works.
It's something about them, for sure. So I would add that to the list. I'm trying to think of it. You go ahead with what you wouldn't spend money. I'll try and think of something else.
Well, the first one you and I completely 100% agree on. Spinning reels.
Yes.
There's absolutely no need to go out and buy a $400 Shimano spinning reel.
No.
For fresh water. Don't get me wrong, different for salt water. Fresh water.
The Fluker President does
Fluker President works just as fine.
Just does it.
And it's
$60.
A quarter of the price.
Yes. Yes.
That's one. Second one, in my opinion, certain soft plastics, you don't need to go out and buy the absolute top of the line, like spending like $12 on a pack of soft plastics. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Soft plastics, I feel like, you can do so much to them, and I don't know.
And it doesn't matter who, with the one exception of being like Z-Man, like the durability is near the same on almost every one. I know you would argue that, but in my opinion.
Now here's an interesting point. I think one of and everybody knows this, the worst.
I know where you're going with this.
The absolute hands down worst durability bait in this category is by far the best durability, best fish catching bait in this category.
Yeah, I know, the Yamamoto Senko.
The Kitech swim bait.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go with Yamamoto because that's another one that I feel like.
The Kitech swim bait. You're paying like $7 for a pack of swim baits, but they're going to outperform anything else you throw.
Yeah.
Promise.
I agree with that. I would agree with that.
Every company makes a fat swing
Fat bodied,
a fat
paddle tail,
paddle tail.
Yeah.
And none of them are the same as a Kitech. You know it. I know you do.
Yeah, I do know it. Yeah.
I know you do. You pick up a Bass Pro one and run it through the water. It ain't the same.
No.
The fish catchability on those Kitechs, swing impacts, the fats, the easy shiners.
All right, so maybe I should rephrase it and make it craw pattern, stuff like that. I don't know. There ain't nothing wrong with buying a Bass Pro bag or a Zoom bag of stuff.
No, it's a very interesting topic for sure. I mean, fishing, I think this is the number one category where it runs down to self-preference.
100% self-preference.
You know what I mean? Like a crankbait, like the jerkbait, you're never going to win an argument telling me that the Shadow Wrap is better than the 110. You're never going to win an argument saying that a KVD 1.5 is as good as a WEC 1 with somebody who's thrown one. You know, that's just the way it goes. You could win an argument saying a Yum Dinger. You could win an argument saying that whatever drop shot worm is better than this drop shot worm.
I got another one for you.
Go ahead.
Line. Weighted line in particular.
You and I both know Power Pro's the best.
Power Pro. Don't get me wrong. I love my Seagar. I run Seagar, everything else. But for whatever reason, Power Pro braid, it's just better than anything else on the market.
I agree.
It's just the way it is.
I agree. Some people don't. I agree 100%. I don't think you need to go out there and spend the top of the line. But since we're on the topic of line, I'm going to upset our sponsor. Buy Sunline.
Okay, yeah. So you and I disagree with that.
But then again, this doesn't come down to really spending the top of the line dollar.
Yeah.
Like that would be like, it would be like saying you need to buy Sunline Shooter or Seagar Tatsu. You know what I mean? I don't think you do. I think you can get away with Red Label. I think you can get away with Sniper. So, yeah. Rods, definitely not.
You and I are different on that opinion.
I think you need to spend 3 times the amount of money on your bait casting reel than you do your bait casting rod.
I like a good rod.
I like a good reel.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like a good reel too.
I want a reel that's not going to backpedal on me. Shout out Luz. And I want a reel that is going to cast far. And if I have good enough line, I'm going to feel bites.
I accept.
That's where I'm at.
Here's a good one.
Go ahead.
And this one, we're going to be on difference about, I think. What's your opinion on sunglasses? Going out and buy yourself some polarized sunglasses. You go the opposite of what I do.
Here's my problem with sunglasses. I am incredibly amazing at breaking and losing them. Therefore, I will never justify myself spending money on a good pair of sunglasses. I'm not responsible enough to own them. It's like a parent giving a 6-year-old a cell phone. They can't have them. I can't have good sunglasses.
Can't have good sunglasses.
This is my $20 pair of Calcuttas, I think they are. This is my 4th pair in the last year.
Versus me, who's been wearing the same $350 pair of Costas for the last 3 years.
I've worn 4 different pairs of sunglasses in the last year.
It's impressive.
Yes.
It's impressive.
I've gone so low as to buy $5 Walmart ones, and I've gone as high stakes as to buy these $20 ones. But it's been a long time since you've witnessed it happen.
Yeah, no, I've witnessed it happen right off the back of my own boat, actually.
Yes. So
along with a hat.
Yep.
No,
it's just the glasses.
just the sunglasses. Yep, just the sunglasses. But yeah, it's all like, I guess it still comes down to personal preference, but there's definitely stuff out there in the bass fishing world that just buy the more expensive one. Like
sometimes, yeah.
In certain cases, if you got the money, it's worth it.
Yeah, like if you're in the market for a trolling motor right now, why would you ever buy a new Fortrex?
Yeah.
It's the most pointless thing you can do.
there's so many other, and it not just
save
like
up
Minn
and
Kota,
buy one with spot lock.
Yeah, either go out, get yourself a spot lock like Ultrex, you go with the Ghost or the
Garmin, the Tour Pro. There's four available.
Tour Pro.
Get it before you get any normal trolling motor.
There's
obviously
no point.
If you don't have the money, I would buy a used like Fortrex or Maxim or Motor Guide before I'd buy a brand new one of them. I would. If you don't have the money, save it and spend $400 on an old Motor Guide and save the money till you have the money for spot.
Now I got one that, and I've done research on it recently, so I'm 100% down to bring it up.
Okay.
I don't think it's worth spending, if you own a boat, I don't think it's worth spending $3,000 on lithium ion trolling motor batteries.
This has long been a very big want of mine.
I don't think it's worth it, in my opinion. We go out. How much do you spend on 2 trolling motor batteries at Walmart?
Like $150.
Yeah, I think I'm like running around $180 for mine.
Yeah.
It's
they will never go bad.
We don't know that.
They don't ever.
They haven't been around long enough.
You go out once and you go fishing for a day and they're still at like 85%. It's incredible.
You still are going to charge them though.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want them.
I don't know. Like, see, here we go. We're getting this little difference right here. But I don't think it's worth.
You don't need them. You definitely don't need them.
I don't think it's worth the $3,000. Really,
I agree. You don't need them, but it's a very nice want.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, 100% would want them, but don't think it's like a deal breaker.
No, I don't think so either. I don't. I'm trying to think of anything else.
I mean, rods, you and I are completely different. Huh? We've always touched on that.
Yeah.
Bait casters, I agree. I mean, the more expensive bait casters are better.
I've got it. This is a stupid one. If you're behind the ball on this, I don't know what you're doing. You need to buy tungsten.
Oh, yeah, tungsten.
Except for in a Carolina rig, there's no place for a lead weight in bass fishing.
Yeah, no.
I think. Carolina rig, there's no problem. Or drop shot too. A lot of people say they like to feel the bottom. Half the time when you're fishing a drop shot, you're pulling through brush or you're looking at them. You don't need a freaking tungsten weight to do that. But, I mean, as far as like Texas rigging, flipping, even Carolina rigging sometimes, you can feel what kind of cover you're pulling through. I think tungsten is the way.
Tungsten. I mean, 100% agree with that.
I think drop shots, it's pointless. I use freaking the $2 25 pack Eagle Claw lead ones. I mean, there's no difference in my opinion. You don't need, because half the time I'm looking at the fish. Like the only time you would need a tungsten drop shot weight is if you're like casting it and dragging it. But I feel like the Ned rig has almost made that obscene. Except for like pulling it over grass. I guess you could pull it through grass and find a hard spot in the grass, theoretically. But I mean, it's such a niche deal. I feel like the lead weight gets.
Yeah, I mean, we already kind of touched on it with the braided line, but I mean, fluorocarbon.
Right, that too.
Get away with red label just as well as you could Tatsui.
Yeah.
It's all like whether or not you want to spend the money.
You're not going to get the longevity out of it.
Yeah, you're not going to get the longevity. I mean, it's the same deal as the batteries. Like,
yeah.
I get the longevity, but performance-wise, like right out of the bat, I mean, red label and Tatsui kind of similar.
Just don't buy Invisex. Don't do it.
That's your opinion.
Don't do it.
I mean, I'm
you don't
more Brazex.
I know you do. See?
Tend to throw more Brazex.
See?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think,
there's definitely things out there that just go out and do your research. Right. I think would be the big part of it.
I've got a quick topic. We're gonna hit it quick because we're starting to run long on an episode we thought would go short.
Go ahead. What do you got?
What's your opinion? And I'm gonna try it now. I'm gonna try totally diving in and immersing myself in it, especially because of the time of the year. It's winter time. What is your opinion on scent?
It's tough. I originally felt like it made a big difference, but I've kind of also feel like at times it's not as big of a deal as people make it to be.
Mm-hmm. I agree, but I'm going to find out.
You're gonna run some tests.
I think that wintertime or a tough bite, when it's a tough bite,
Scent
it
mix
can't.
better.
No, but it can't hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they hold on to it a second longer, I don't. We'll see. You know, I'm gonna really dive into it. I bought some of the JJs because I hear it's really good stuff. I bought some of JJs, the clear ones. So I can just dip my stuff in there. I'm gonna dive in. I'm gonna really try it. I'm gonna do it on all my baits. If I notice I'm catching more fish, get more bites, I'll be like, wow. I don't think it's gonna get you more bites. I don't know how it would.
Well, I mean, so one of the things that I used to throw a lot, like when I was in like high school in Rhode Island, was a wacky rig. And I always felt like I caught just as many fish on a Gary Yamamoto as I did some stinky ass like Yum, the Yum Dinger, I believe is theirs. So I mean, I just didn't see much of a difference between the two. This is a good question. Be a good question. Might have to do that as a challenge on the boat one day. We'll do. One of us throws scented, the other one doesn't.
I could definitely see where the fish would hold on longer. I could definitely, and you know what? The biggest thing might be, it masks your scent, our scent, people's scent, sunscreen, gasoline, oil that you got on your hands, do your sandwich that you ate that morning. You know, that might be the biggest thing about it. But I don't know. We're gonna go into testing.
I like that.
It can't hurt. That's what I'm looking at it as. I just hate taking more time on the boat to do anything.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to take a little more time.
I did used to love coffee tubes.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly just because I like coffee. And
that's exactly right. So. I love those striking baits just because you open up the bag, you go,
and then you take a sip of your own coffee and you're like, yeah, full package.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
But anyways... Cool. We appreciate you guys watching.
Next week, we get to preview the elites, baby.
Yeah, we get to preview the elites. If you haven't done it yet, go sign up.
Go now.
Bassmaster.
Do it.
Fantasy League.
Now.
Beat Biz Baits.
Yes.
You gotta do it. Great prizes.
Yes. Lots of them.
I'm in it personally.
Free. For me.
The radio, Bass Now Radio is in it.
Yes.
You gotta join. This
free for me.
That's free. You can get awesome prizes.
Yes, do it.
Just go out and do it.
Awesome.
100%. That's what we're going to leave you on.
Yes.
We'll be back next week previewing Florida.
Yes.
And hope you guys catch them this week. Tight lines,
folks.
We'll see you.
Peace.